welcome back everybody. Doing a little recap real quick. So, beginning of the week, a new episode. And just to clarify, if you're coming in new and you haven't seen the series or you stumbled upon it, we're doing a walkthrough series. This particular series has two things. One, we're technically speaking, I'm just using this right now to further down the quest line because this is a quest-oriented weapon. But we only use melee weapons. In which case in point, I'd come back and I'd equip the throwing knife as soon as I'm done with this gun. Won't really get into it. Actually, you know what I will. So Skippy, you find him in an alleyway in Heywood or the Glen, forget which. Nevertheless, Skippy, he gives you two choices. Either you can be a puppy-loving pacifist or like stone cold killer. And if you choose the pacifist, he shoots people in the legs, like in the limbs when he locks on, which is non-lethal, right? Unless you use it excessively, then it becomes lethal. But then, after 50 targets that are after 50 neutralized targets, he decides, you know what, we're gonna go into Stone Cold Killer mode, and he locks himself in that mode, which is fine, especially if all you want are headshots. Then that's what he locks into. After that point, on the alternative, if you chose Stone Cold Killer, again, 50 neutralized targets, and then he says, oh, wait a minute, you need to relax. So then it becomes puppy-loving pacifist mode is permanent. Doesn't matter which way you do it. I like to do puppy-loving pacifist first, and then let him switch to Stone Cold Killer, because it's just a little bit more fun that way. But either way, as soon as that happens, I don't know how long, too much after, but it's not really that many hours later, you get a quest to bring him in to his original owner, because we did stumble upon him. He was stolen, and also he's in, well, let's see if we can bring him out if he'd show himself. I hate him. Anyway,
reasons for firing unknown.
Yeah. But anyway, coming into this series, you know that we have cleared up all the NCPD events. Now, so I took a look at the map. Nothing comes up. All the NCPD events are done, so we'll turn that off. Cyberpsycho sightings. We haven't done all of them just yet. We did all the ones that have shown up. There are a few that, there's one out here, and I believe there's one in the city now that used to show up from the get-go. You would stumble upon it. Not anymore. Now it feels like it's story progressed. There's an update before 2.0. There's some updates in between. I forgot what was the last one I remember. But I haven't played since then, all the way to 2.0, and then finally when Phantom Liberty got released, I started doing this series. And then I bought 2.0 when it was 2.1, or I bought Phantom Liberty, excuse me. So, when I noticed that there is a Cyberpsycho sighting that has not shown up for me yet, which is usually in the city somewhere, which is fine because I'll get into that later. Obviously, there's a story progression I needed to do. But there is one out here in the Badlands that eventually, it hasn't shown up yet, but it will. Oh, this has to be the auto camp. Anyway. We turn the fast travels off because they riddle the map. Ripper docks, vendors, gigs. We turn everything else off real quick. Gigs, as you can see, what I've done, if you're coming in new, we've taken every area and we've completed all the gigs. 5 out of 5. I wish he had more, but 11 out of 11. This cat's down here. Something down the storyline we'll have to unlock. We've completed all gigs. We're good to go on there. I'd like to keep that open because I do have one more, and when I eventually do get in the story, I want to see it. Jobs. I've been doing these. Getting these up. I'm wrapping the jobs up though, so that's what we're doing in this series. We've just cleared the map, and we started off with the NCPD events, not Cyberpunk, but NCPD events, because you could be doing a gig or you could be doing something, and say you're here, and you need to run down over here, right, for maybe a tactical retreat, you know, or something where maybe you're right here in the street fighting off, and you need to enter here. Well, if there's an NCPD event, you're gonna have some enemies as well, so now you're getting shot from both sides. Especially when you're lower level, you know, and you're just kind of going in and saying, you know, let me, you know, get the story through, let me clear it out, and then I'll clear the map out later, right? I hate doing that in the beginning. I hate doing a lot of story mode stuff at the beginning, because usually, especially in games like these, that's what happens, you just find mobs. But in clearing alone, gigs, NCPD events, you know, cyber psychos, now we're getting into jobs. I haven't even talked. You know, I haven't even started the main quest line, like Act 2, you know, and I'm level 53. You know, if we didn't have Phantom Liberty, we'd already be level 50, we'd maxed out. Phantom Liberty, we're getting to 60, you know. So we haven't done any of that yet. You can tell up top, we have 1.6 million credits to our name. I know it's not credits, but I call it credits. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're just going through again, we're combing. I turned all these on anyway, because now it's kind of like, well, I might as well. Fixer, and then apartment for rent, that'll come up later. But anyway, we're gonna go down here. Since I already know ahead of time, I've played this so many times, where some of it I recognize. Oh yeah, do I have? Yes, I do. Okay. I have dash on this one. I have two characters. I've played it multiple times, but I have... I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna find out. Didn't I just say I played this multiple times? I've never seen this guy before. He either might be new or something else. We'll find out. I don't know what he had, but I'll tell you what, I'm good. Oh. I saw a YouTube video about this. Okay. I'm not taking that weapon out. I think we know what was inside of it now. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we're gonna go down here. There's a certain height that the double jump won't initiate. I don't know exactly when that is. You can only fall so much before you need to initiate the double jump. Like right there is fine. I think any lower than that, and it just says, nope, sorry, too late. You can't double jump, which I think is dumb. You're already, you know, in midair, jumping. How does it calculate, like, how does it know and say, you know what, at a certain height, as soon as you drop X amount of feet, X amount of meters, you know, give up. But we're gonna go in here, we're gonna do a little competition, because I think it's always fun. I just gotta get up here. Oh, and also, if you didn't see, running Sandevistan, running the meta Sandevistan. It's not fully upgraded yet. I need to do that, but I should have enough to upgrade it, so that's fine. We'll definitely need to do that. Let's not alert any of these guys. Let's just walk in, talk to them. We've already messed with a lot of people.
I want y'all to have a good time.
The hell you want?
That a trick question? This is a party, right?
Invitation only. For those who bleed red, white, and blue. So fuck off.
What'd you say?
Said to fuck off. But I see you didn't catch my drift. Yo, Joe!
Huh?
Come here. We got a smart-ass punk here. Can't seem to find her way out.
Okay, here's what's gonna happen. You say I'm sorry, then you fucking Delta.
Or else what?
Or else I Delta you myself. Right to the bottom of the Del Coronado.
Sorry. Really sorry. But I'm gonna have to shut this party down.
Oh, that's not how that's supposed to go. Supposed to do the shooting competition. Dialogue options before, so I said, oh, this could be interesting. It was very interesting. And a few civilians. There's a shooting range here. That's why I came here with the Sandevistan especially. Because they invite you to competition, usually. I've had it to where I've accidentally bumped into a guy and it caused conflict. And so I was always like, oh, I should be careful coming up here. And I should talk to these guys. And I think after he says his piece, or if you don't talk to him, you talk to this cat that's sitting over here. I didn't happen. And I wonder where he's at. Probably down there in the rubber now, I think about it. But anyway, after you're done, you invite him to stand. It's a pretty good weapon. I forget exactly. Chemical explosion. I was like, I know they have an explosion, but chemical explosion. So, very good weapon, especially if you're fighting with firearms. In this playthrough, we're not, and the reason being, let's go ahead and grab this too. much on me. Let's delete all the these. The reason why I delete all the weapons, I do this even in my other playthrough where we are using firearms, but I don't use firearms because it is a full-on like Jedi build, if you will. Barely tell what that is, but you can tell what that is. I wasn't gonna hover over it and draw attention, but if you saw, you saw. But yeah, so we're doing a Jedi build, and what I mean by that is V has a backstory. When as a street kid, you know that V has gone and left to Atlanta before the events of Cyberpunk. Actually, while V was away in Atlanta, David Martinez was doing his thing. Anyway, so V found Holo Vids of Star Wars, but before that, she had dreams, right? She wanted to be a netrunner. She wanted to, you know, also be, you know, the best merc. Well, the netrunning thing was where she was going to start. Turned out, she's not that great at it. You know, it wasn't clicking. She watches Star Wars. She sees how the, you know, Jedi and Sith are using the Force to impose their will upon, you know, whoever their target is, right? The way they move, the way they, you know, everyone has a firearm, and yet these guys only have, you know, a laser sword. And she's looking at this and going, that's incredible. You know, just a movie, but it's incredible, and it inspired her. Hence why she uses only melee weapons, right? Especially with the sword. So, oops. We take a look. Reflexes 20. Swordsmanship all the way up top. Finishing moves, you know. Opportunist is on here. Flash of Steel. Where's the one that... Where's it at? Thunderclap and Flash, I always say, because if you know, you know. Bullet deflect, and of course if you put on Sand of Vistan or anything that comes that slows down time, you know, it says slow down time, but honestly it's more like it increases your movement speed. But you know, you can deflect directly. Dashing, and there's some things like, for example, steady grip. We won't ever put a perk point here because we're not shooting. So V in our playthrough doesn't use guns, well, except for this one, but that's a different story. Doesn't use guns. Isn't into anything. Like, for example, this, the only reason we have this equipped is because we need this equipped for that one particular weapon. But other than that, we're also looking for things that on the bottom of where it says visit Ripper Dock, but you see the little stat up there, like 3% melee damage, things of that sort. We only put on certain things that affect because we're using a weapon. Unfortunately, when it comes to cyberware, there isn't really anything that will help out your swordplay. There is something for melee weapons for throwables, but nothing for like, hey, you're using a melee weapon. Not unarmed, but an actual melee weapon, and they don't really cater to that. Unfortunately, at least I haven't found anything. Which also reminds me, we need to go Ripper Dock. But yeah, so the story is V found those holotapes in Atlanta. She became inspired, and then now that's how she conducts herself. She doesn't follow the Jedi code. She doesn't follow the Sith code. She follows her own code, like the way of the merc, you know. But she goes in, tries to handle business. If she finds that, hey, fortunately she has to handle business a different way, then she does that. But let's see here. Definitely need to upgrade this. Now, what I don't like about this is that apparently this is the maximum. This doesn't change right here. This doesn't change right here, but your headshot damage, crit damage, all that changes, and that's significant. So definitely worth. And I don't think I can upgrade it any further. Yeah, that's it. So Actually, I have to go in and see what I have. Shock absorber, recoil. See, a reloading weapon, that doesn't help me out, you know. Reloading a weapon doesn't help me out. Doesn't help me out. This is the only one that helps me out. Which honestly, either way, I need to change. I'll buy this. Put it here. And then I'll upgrade it. Bonus stealth damage. Oh yeah. Melee damage. Resistance and melee damage. Yes. And then, oh, did I get to 50? Yeah, we'll do that. 100%. Melee damage, 3.7, 3.1. RAM, aim speed. Again, we don't need aim speed. So, good on that. That's our main one, and we'll just have to figure out whichever one we want after that. Because I'm only have this on just to help out with the Skippy right now. With a smart weapon. Yeah, but unfortunately we don't get a cooldown increase or decrease or duration increase. The effects aren't, the slows time by 85%. You know, doesn't go to 90. I would have taken even 87, just some type of increase, but that doesn't do it, unfortunately. We're gonna find more because there's a lot of things in here that we can definitely upgrade. Melee damage. Gonna need that. Crit chance, yeah, we get a lot of stuff. We're gonna hold back though because we need to definitely find more. But not what I want. We do gorilla arms because the fact that we are low here on body. Didn't put anything to cool because we really don't need anything except for level 4, which is pretty much mitigation. We want to use that stand while driving. You know, we want the vehicle perks there. We want mitigation here. We want what is this? Yeah, 25% with knives, axes, and silenced weapons outside of combat. You know, definitely need that. Movement speed. We don't really sneak, but there are times we need to. So everybody can crouch, you know, but certain people are great at sneaking. V's enough just to get away and hide. But as soon as combat is there, it's it. It's over, you know. As soon as you shoot, goes into an area where it's like, oh. The stealth in here, honestly, the stealth in this game isn't all that great because even I have the online variant of V, another playthrough, where we do dive into cool. We actually have it maxed out, mostly for this middle tree here. I haven't utilized it for this tree here, where, you know, it's for. This is actually pretty good. I do need it. So I went from knives to this, and now I have to get dive over here with this in tandem, because I do like to move around. I do like to have a throwing knife, or I did like to have a throwing knife until I find a throwing knife. Like the iconic one. I took away all these perks. I'll have to dive into this later, but you know, we do technical ability because we really want these perks here. We also want Renaissance perk as well, wherever that is. Oh, it's down here. Or Renaissance Punk. Edge Runner, so we can have, you know, more cyberware capabilities. These here, somehow I always dive back right into this. But as you can see, we really haven't dove into anything. 5 more levels we're going to unlock in here, which is great and all, because we want V to be stronger. But we won't be, yeah, we just want her to be stronger. But with the arms, it'll get us up to 19. I think it increases by 19. We'll have to see. plus 6. So even at 14, we'd have technically 20 attribute checks. Which just basically means if there's a door and it says, hey, you need 15 out of, you need 15 and we're at 10, it's going to be like, hey, like, you only have 10. Technically speaking, because of the arms, we have 60. But this is our build, full on intelligence. The reason it's empty right now is because we're not using a cyber deck. We usually have this middle tree filled out. I don't go this route because this has to do with smart weapons, so I'm not using them. And then this over here, if I'm using, again, with the cyber deck. And the reason being with these two go in tandem is because for this playthrough, for this iteration of V, the Force user V, she believes that, oh, it's like imposing your will, and that kind of helped click with her. So that's what she does. She, forces people to turn their weapons upon themselves, upon their friends, puts them to sleep, wipes their minds, gives them a type of sickness, like it's contagion. It's like it's not a real sickness, but it makes them dizzy enough. It turns their insides a little bit with their cyberware that their mind can't help it, and then they just start throwing up, and it just travels and it spreads, So she's good at all of that, right? But what we're doing though is because that's more of like the, she walks in, imposes her will on everybody, great. But right now what we're doing is using Santa Vista to help her with her physical abilities. So she goes in, with a sword, and then what I like to do, as you saw earlier, is you draw them in to that small little hallway, small little areas where they can't, move around.
Stay
right?
out of the way.
They get right here. Where was it? It was like over here, right? They start coming in right here, since it's a little hallway. Santa Vista. Now you're moving through, cutting them all up, extending the duration because you have so many enemies just lined up. And then if you're still going, with Santa Vista and it's still up and people are shooting, you can deflect everything. So that's why this iteration of V, we don't use weapons, we don't use anything. Anyway, that's enough explaining about that. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm almost out of time. So, the next time we come in here, we've done that job there. We will do the Delamain HQ. I think you need attribute checks. I don't think you really need anything other than attribute checks to get this one done. So luckily, we have 20, 20, and 20, which is fine. I think we just need one of these two, honestly. There might be some instances where we need body, but that's throughout the map. But other than that, that's going to wrap it up for here. So like I said again, in this episode, it's more of a recap, kind of discovering what we're going, what we're doing. I do have plenty of vehicles I can choose from. I love that vehicle, but use that one there. I'm going to put away certain weapons because I don't want them in my menu. Oh yeah. Rookie mistake. Let's put that away. Put that away. Okay. You don't have to open the trunk, but I like to. Move back away from it. I think the... Okay, well, I did. You know what? Deserved. She didn't have to honk though. out of here. Got it. Anyway, that's it for us here. When we come back, Delamain HQ, and then we're going to start up that job. And then after that job's done, then so this is the week. These episodes here, once we're done, the next episode will cover Delamain HQ. I try not to take up too much time, but I want to do it just enough that we can start up the rest of the main storyline. But until then, guys, and sorry for the little bit of a lag, I will see you next time. You have a good one. Be safe. And if you're... It's Friday. Have a good weekend, you know? Alright, guys. Take care.